Hi, this is Dale Buchanan, the host of Puppy Talk Podcast. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know of my new book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual. It's available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. You can find it on Amazon right now. It's called The Complete Puppy Training Manual, and I will put a link in the show notes of this episode. I'm Dale Buchanan, and this is Puppy Talk, the podcast that offers free advice and tips for raising a happy, healthy, and obedient puppy. For more information on this podcast, visit us online at puppytalkpodcast.com. I'm your host, Dale Buchanan, and today I'm going to talk about the first day with your new puppy. I put a video on my YouTube channel that will show you some of the things I did with my puppy, Dixie, the first day I got her on May the 5th, 2020. You can find the link in the show notes. I'm also going to put a link to an episode I did called The First 5 Things to Teach Your New Puppy, because in this episode and on the video that I have on my YouTube channel, I show you 3 of those 5 things. What I'm not showing you is potty training, but I have a book on potty training called Potty Training Your Puppy, available on Amazon. And I'm also not going to show you how to stop play biting, because I've already done so many videos and episodes on stopping play biting. And that technique is in my book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual, also available on Amazon. In the video attached to this podcast episode, you will see me teaching Dixie 3 things within the first hour that I had her. Those are her name, getting acclimated to a leash, specifically a slip lead, and setting rules and boundaries inside the apartment, having her go to her bed, lay down, and stay. I remember the day that I brought Dixie home, May the 5th, 2020, as if it was yesterday, and it was almost 3 years ago. I picked her up from the breeder in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. At the time, I was living in Deerfield Beach. I brought her to my apartment complex to meet some neighbors, and immediately started socializing her with several neighbors and a few other dogs that I knew were fully vaccinated, one that I had actually trained. I taught Dixie her name right away and got her on a slip lead in front of the apartment complex. It was very hot. It was probably 95 degrees because it was May and it is South Florida. So I didn't keep Dixie outside very long before bringing her up to the apartment. However, what I did do with her immediately is I got her accustomed to the leash and I started teaching her some things to get used to living with me. I wanted her to feel as comfortable as possible, so I was talking to her in a nice tone, a high-pitched tone, calling her name, having her come to me right out front of the apartment complex on the slip lead. I wanted her to feel safe, and I wanted her to feel like this is going to be her new home. I'm going to be her leader and her teacher, and we are going to be a happy family. This worked out very well, because a few hours later, when I brought her inside, I easily taught her rules and boundaries. And in the video that you can see using the link in the show notes, I actually did not use a lot of words, and I did not even touch her. This is the thing I want to stress, is that I wasn't overstimulating Dixie the very first day. I was getting her calm and relaxed. The 2 things that will overstimulate a puppy are a lot of chit-chat, and they don't even know what you're saying, and a lot of touching. They just don't need it the first day you bring them home. What they need is sleep, and they need downtime, and they need to relax, and they need something to chew on, and they need food, and they need to go outside every hour to go potty. That's what they need the first day, even the first week you have them. In fact, I did not even start training Dixie, formally training her with obedience training, until almost 2 weeks after I had her, because I wanted her to get used to the things that I'm teaching you, which are her name, getting on a leash, potty training, setting rules and boundaries, and stopping play biting. Luckily, Dixie never really was a big play biter. Her teeth touched my skin a few times when I first had her, but I stopped it immediately, and her teeth have never touched skin ever since. The result of doing all of this the first day that I got Dixie is a fantastic dog. Probably overall the best dog that I've ever known. Even better than my dog Spalding, who I had for 12 years, who was a great dog. Dixie is really, really a great dog. And I'm not just saying that because it's my dog. Dixie has no serious behavior problems. She is easy to live with. She is very happy. She follows all of my commands and guidance easily. She's simple to walk on a loose leash, and I can take her anywhere with me. It's absolutely incredible to have a companion like Dixie. You can have this with your puppy as well if you follow the principles that I'm teaching in this podcast, in my YouTube videos, and in my books. It's not that complicated. However, I see neighbors who get new puppies, and the puppies don't come with a lot of behavior problems. But after 1, 2, or 3 months, all of a sudden, the puppies do have some serious behavior problems. They have anxiety, stress, leash reactivity. They bark a lot. They can't keep control of their puppy. The owners are yelling at their puppies all the time because they didn't follow these principles that I'm teaching. They bypass these thinking that the puppy's going to outgrow all of these behaviors. And later on, I'll work on it when the puppy's older. The time to work with your puppy to teach the puppy exactly what you want it to do for the rest of its life is early on. You have to imprint in the puppy's brain, and you have to program that software exactly what you want from 8 to 12 weeks old. Some people can say 4 to 16 weeks old, but from 8 to 12 weeks old, that's the critical period for teaching the rules, boundaries, name, leash skills, socialization. All of these things are so important during that time period. If you miss that time period, you are going to struggle with your puppy later in life. It's eminent because all of the emails that I get from people are puppies and dogs that are between 9 months and 5 years old. And the intake forms read something like this when I ask, what are your dog training goals? They say, stop biting, stop chewing, stop barking, stop countersurfing, stop reacting to dogs and pulling on the leash, stop this, stop that. And in my mind, I'm going crazy because that's not how I work and that's not how dog trainers should work. What we work on is teaching the puppy what we want them to do, or teaching an adult dog what we want it to do, not trying to fix the puppy or dog, not trying to stop them from doing things. Most of these dogs that have multiple problems have never learned any basic obedience. They can't even go to their bed and lay down and stay, which is the first thing I teach all new puppies. Just look at my Instagram videos and you'll see hundreds of examples of me teaching 9, 10, 12-week-old puppies to go to their bed, lay down, and stay. It's so important to get the puppy under control and teach them their space and to teach them their rules and boundaries. The things that I did with Dixie in this video the first day are things that most owners aren't doing with their puppies ever. And that's a shame because the puppy has problems later in life that the owners want fixed, and they think paying a dog trainer $150 an hour is going to solve all their problems. It's not. The problem isn't the dog. The problem is that they were not set up for success. Like all of the information that I talk about in my podcast and in my books and on my videos and in my articles on TopGunDogTraining.com. Don't make these mistakes if you have not got a new puppy. And if you just got a new puppy, please follow the guidance that I'm giving because I have trained over 1,200 puppies. And I think that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the things that you need to do when you get a puppy home and what you should not do. I'll leave you with one more example. I recently started with a new puppy as part of a family of husband, wife, and 3 kids, and it's a 9-week-old German Shepherd. This puppy was completely out of control when I got there. They were constantly giving it commands, constantly talking to it, constantly saying stuff to it, constantly picking it up. It was biting them all over the hands and arms. They were constantly provoking the puppy to behave badly. and they'd only had the puppy for 2 weeks at this point. I went over there, and I told them all to stop talking, stop touching the puppy, put it down, let it be a dog, and let it relax. In a few more minutes, we taught it sit, down, stay. In fact, a 10-year-old boy was teaching these commands to the puppy the very first day, once the puppy calmed down a little bit. But you can't train an overstimulated and overexcited puppy that was overstimulated and overexcited from the family. Puppies need to relax in order to comprehend what it is that you want them to do. You're not going to be able to communicate to a puppy when they're overexcited and overstimulated, because anything you do or say to the puppy at that time is reinforcing their bad behavior. I've talked about this again and again and again in so many podcast episodes. Bring your puppy home, get them to relax for the first couple of weeks, get them to calm down. Don't allow them to develop bad behaviors from the get-go. This is the most important thing, way beyond all of the basic obedience commands and leash skills and all of that. Get them to understand how you want them to live with you on your terms and what it is that you expect from them. Clear, black and white, what is right and what is wrong, what they can do, what they can't do. I hope this information helps you. If you have any questions, you can reach me through the website, puppytalkpodcast.com. Have a great day. This is Dale Buchanan, host of Puppy Talk Podcast. I have an announcement of a new book that I just published called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, soon to be available on audiobook. You can find out all the details of this book using the link in the show notes. It's called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's a comprehensive book with a simple and effective way to help potty train your puppy, and it really works. Check out the link in the show notes.